Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Leahy, and I am so very happy that you're here with me in this week's episode of Be One, Be You. We are diving into the theme, I want you to face your fear. Why would I be asking anyone to face their fear? What gives me that right? There are so few people in the world that are willing to ask us, face your fear. I want to see the real you shine. I want to see all of you come through and break through the collective paradigm that is gripping, surrounding, and infiltrating people's minds. To turn to fear, to fall into fear. And when we choose fear over the true light, the true presence, the full manifestation, the truth of who we each are, we block our life. And at this time, your true being is needed on this planet deeply. There isn't a stable enough reality of living in true oneness that helps us to let go of the ways that we hold on to behaviors and actions and thinking processes, defense systems, all based upon the fear that's within our body. And as you place your arms around yourself right now and just hold yourself and to just feel the trepidations that we each are feeling, that you are feeling, I just want you to face your fear so that you don't become blocked in it and shut off from you. Because I really love you and I care about you and I truly want you to face your fears because you're needed here. And I don't want to see you suffer in any way. And yes, the suffering that we each must go through to help us to awaken to what's truth, what's real, to the rays of truth, the rays of light, the rays of color, the rays of sound, the ways that you speak through the way you walk, through the way you talk, through the ways that you show up, through the ways that you're asking to love. You're parting the seas for your own love to come through. This is why I ask you, I just want you to face your fears. Because fears are passed down from one generation to the next. They're passed down through religions. They're passed down through cultures. And they're passed down through our cellular memory, the persecutions that are experienced in every race, every nationality, genders. We all go through it. It's part of this human experience, but we are evolving into a new time. I just want you to face your fear so that you can see the stories that you've told yourself, the stories that you have believed that are true in your head. If you were raised in a family where everything appeared to be perfect, and then as you grow up, you wonder why you have certain difficulties in relationship and making money, or just finding happiness, or why do you laugh your way through things? Why do you spend too much time watching videos through your cell phone? What's going on? Why did you choose, for instance, to choose a meditation practice that you could do once a day, but then the rest of the day be caught up in fear and worry and anxiety and choosing the wrong people to do business with and having jobs that don't work out and people who don't pay you or whatever the story is? The fears create the story. And we all carry the fear. It's in our cellular structure, meaning it's in your DNA. And yes, it's passed down, literally through your bones and your blood, through the brain cells, through the way your body is created, through the energetics. So you'll hear me talk a lot about the family ancestry and where you come from in your past lives. It's those are your sanskars you bring with you through your memory body, your causal body, layers of fears that are connected to being true to who you are, to being who you are, to being the light that you are, waking up to being who you are. I just want you to face your fear. So as a child, was it a risk to speak, to say what you really needed, what you felt? Were your needs important? Were your needs ignored? Were your needs supported? Were you supposed to fulfill a parent's expectations of who you were supposed to be? Was your parent so much a narcissist, a person who is so wrapped up in their own separation, their own separate self, that you were taught to separate from you? And in that process of separating from yourself, you literally walked away from who you really are? And who are you? Where do you find yourself? What do you do? There's so many different forms of healing and exploration, and ayahuasca and whatever your choice is, or turning to Christ, whatever it is. They're all stepping stones. I just need you to know that through your fear and tracking what you are most afraid of and beginning to embrace the light, the love that you are, and reconnecting to the source of the pain. And there's always the need to be the being, the you, that's not detached through shutting off or shutting down or not feeling or listening to the pain source within you. It's actually embracing it as a voice of truth, a messenger for you to hear and see and feel and receive the you that's underneath all that pain. That pain covers up the shame. That's the natural state of being a human being and not being given the opportunity to fully be one in yourself. If you stop relating to the systems that steal your power, that use you, who do you become? What happens to you? That's a fear. If you pay attention to what Source is teaching you, there's someone who's very, very, very dear in my heart and working on himself for the last few years in a very intensive way. And he's had an increase of interaction where there's masters who are here waiting for you to show up with them. Real, true masters. It takes lifetimes to get to that point, but we're in a time right now where you can accelerate everything, and all of a sudden you're having divine beings working with you. Not asking you to give up anything that supports their power. They're already one and whole. This is the real deal. This is where you begin to let go of the stories, the actions, the behaviors that separate you from giving your true self the chance to come through. This individual that I'm speaking about had his whole business world crack open and caused him much, much upset and a feeling that a feeling that there was nothing he could do but go with the process. That when you choose to awaken, you have to face your fear. Because the ways that you set yourself up to be liked, approved of, make enough money, have the job that you want, keep the job, continue to grow, there's always more that your ego self, the self that wants to keep you down, but have you fulfill what you need to fulfill. Now there's a balance, because when you've got a great job, you're doing what you love, you work with great people, you're being paid what you need to support your family needs, your own needs. That's different, because there's honor there. But when you're in a situation where you have not yet healed the ways that you were used and abused and created trauma in your earlier part of your life, that trauma is held inside of you and then works its way out through money interaction, relationship interaction, running from yourself, avoiding really putting yourself out there who you really are. And there's a lot of games being played right now in the name of avoiding fear. I just want you to face your fear. I invite you. The fears that were given to you, the fears that you experienced through your parents' issues, your mom, for instance, maybe not being able to emotionally show up with you. Maybe in utero, she couldn't fully embrace being pregnant. Maybe she had issues with her past that hadn't yet been resolved. A mother can carry the fear energies from past lifetimes of losing a child, of not wanting to have a child. When you bring yourself out of separation consciousness, where you're separating, oh, this happened, oh, it's okay, it doesn't affect me right now. But you're living in the whole of who you are amidst this, and you glean, you receive the lessons within each of the truth experiences that are awakening inside of you. From your father misusing your mother's precious heart, perhaps he used her sexually, perhaps he had an affair, perhaps he wasn't giving you the focused attention upon you, but used you to fulfill him. We live in a culture where narcissism is the norm. We are all in some way the empath who's feeling everything, and at the same time the narcissist is shutting it down on ourselves. But there's many levels of the narcissist who protects and armors their heart. So this person I was speaking about is having to choose whether to armor his heart, keep it shut, not let in what God's source, a partner, life is trying to bring him. The fear of really releasing that armor around his heart makes him feel out of control. He needs to be in control and define things how his mind needs things to be defined so it doesn't fall apart, because the mental illness runs in his family. So his fear is that he'll be mentally ill. But what has to be understood is that there's no way to control the separations in your mind except to open to the separations by coming into your heart and then realizing the patterns of behaviors and the belief systems that you've created out of fear, because you were never given the chance to really exist and come forth and emerge being who you really are. So the world needs you. We need you to come forth, being who you are, through the fear that if you come forth as the light that you are, that you won't be accepted and received. But I'm not inviting your ego to come along for the ride. I'm inviting you to look at what you're most afraid of. I just want you to face your fears. Because when you look to see what you're most afraid of, you are able to bust through what you've manufactured in your mind as your truth. The mind will tell you the ego part, the mind-ego part that's in existence in order so you don't screw up, in order so that the real you doesn't get hurt more. So we're looking at the duality of living in your human form, in your physical body from a fear state while you're denying the fear. So you want to take a look at what you've done to bypass and deny your fear, and then also to go, oh yeah, what am I most really afraid of? And then to begin to shift who you give your power to. Who's your real employer inside? Is it your ego or is it God Source? The God Source being that light man within you, that light woman within you. And they can show themselves to you holding a rod of power, a beautiful basket of fruit, a vault of gold. Because once you align with your real self, everything begins to fall into place if you can face your fears and not fall back into your fears. The fears that you can't do this, or God, maybe you really are more screwed up than one you even want to admit. Because the screw up happened through giving away your power to false leaders, teachers, religious beings, spiritual teachers, spiritual teachings, a husband, a wife, a lover, a sister, a brother who thought they knew what was better for you. How much did you have to repress and suppress who you really are in order to survive? I just want you to look at your fears. They were created from the very core biological, physiological, human experience. What do I need to do to survive? And I invite you to strengthen your strength factor. Your strength factor is the opposite of turning to the fear and then doing what you have to do. So you're seen, you're received, you're approved of, you're liked. You fit somebody else's picture of who you're supposed to be, whatever your picture is. And let yourself be fed by the true source of light, the true source of strength that's hiding underneath the pain and the hurt. And the fear covers it all over. Because once you come back home into yourself, the fear of being who you are dissipates and you're able to see the world around you and see not from separation and fear. That's all the unhealed levels inside of yourself. What you take on from other people, what you take on through the environment, what you take on from the false thinking in your mind, come back down into your lower belly and breathe. Inhale in through your mouth, out your nose. Inhale through your nose and out your mouth. Inhale through your mouth and out your mouth. Feel which one helps you to dissipate the fear the most. I just invite you. I want you to face your fears because I love you, because I want to see you thrive. I want you to come forth and to have the experience in this lifetime to go beyond your limits, because everything is possible. You are a living, breathing union of heaven and earth, unified in you as love and power. And to this, I bow to you in your courage to face your fears, holding you in deep, deep love. Seeing you beneath the fear, I invite you to come forth, and holding you in great love. Huge light, may your day be a whole new beginning. Sending you much, much love. Thank you so much for joining me, and I invite you to go to my website, ayanalahi.com, IANALAHI.com, and check out the mini courses, the deepening courses, the signature programs, the mentoring, and check out what you can subscribe through putting in your email address. You get free every Saturday morning a free 15 to 20 minute video that teaches wisdom teachings and movement meditation on a different theme of living from your wild heart. Thanks for joining me. Holding you in much love. This is Ayana Lahi.